Yeah, we'll transition over to that subject. So Oklahoma makes a change at quarterback. Obviously, Jackson Arnold in his sophomore year, redshirt freshman year, is benched after a couple starts. Reading those comments, he kind of did peak in that Arizona game. It wasn't even a great game for him in the bowl game, but that was really his best collegiate game, in my opinion, at least from just watching. And they go with Michael Hawkins, who's a freshman. His dad obviously played cornerback there at Oklahoma, so he's a legacy guy. And I think that does play a little bit of part into it, not of why he got named the starter, but you could tell in that game he was not scared when he got placed in for Jackson Arnold. Like, he was ready to go. I mean, one of the plays he made was they weren't going to win that game, and he's diving for the end zone, getting blasted at the goal line. Like, Jackson Arnold wasn't going to do that. And this is the thing too, like, people need to stop saying, oh, we got the Elite 11 quarterback winner, he's going to be a good quarterback. Just because you can throw it around in shorts and 7-on-7 doesn't mean you know how to play quarterback. It looks good, it's cool and everything, but to play quarterback, it's between the ears. And right now, Jackson Arnold does not know what he's doing. Like, you can see that he's throwing the ball late, he's throwing it high, he's looking at certain things and not realizing what he's seeing. And I think it was the correct decision for Brent Venables to bench Jackson Arnold. Now, there's so many different ramifications for this. I mean, like people have been saying on Twitter, and I've read it, you're benching a 5-star quarterback after telling him he'd basically be the starter, and that can hurt you recruiting-wise going forth. About, that's going to be a negative recruiting pitch other teams use. Look how he easily gave up on this guy, da-da-da-da-da. And I think it's kind of funny. Like, they chose to get rid of Dylan Gabriel and choose Jackson Arnold because he was going to transfer. But guess what? Now it's going to happen. Jackson Arnold's going to transfer anyways. I do think there is some truth of, I think it would have taken a little bit more convincing to keep Dylan Gabriel there than thought of, because Jeff Levy left, and obviously they have a good relationship and a long-standing relationship at UCF as well. So it's going to be interesting how this plays out. I mean, this could blow up right away. Like, if Michael Hawkins plays bad versus Auburn, this is going to get a whole lot worse for Brent Venables. And honestly, he may have already sealed his fate, because if he doesn't play well, you basically kicked out I think a top 7 quarterback in the sport this year in Dylan Gabriel for a guy that was unproven, and now another guy that's unproven. And if he doesn't work out, there's a real chance, again, you could lose your job at Oklahoma because of this. You have done great things for the defense. The defense is definitely a lot better than it has been. It's like Bob Stoops era good on defense, but the offense has just completely gone away. It's not good at all. So we'll see how they fix it. I don't know if there's much you can do with all the injuries. Obviously, the offensive line isn't that good. You're missing most of your wide receivers now. I think Nick Anderson's probably going to be out pretty damn long, because you saw they converted a cornerback to wide receiver. So it's going to be interesting. I don't know what's going to happen. What's your opinion on this one?
Yeah, I thought it's an interesting decision to make, but I think it was the right decision after that third turnover. Boy, did Arnold, his stigma and the way he acted, it utterly pissed me off. And if I'm an Oklahoma fan, after that turnover, I'd be pretty upset. He kind of threw a temper tantrum, to be honest with you. His QBR is terrible. It's like 33.8 or something like that. I know his QBR was in the single digits against Tennessee. Obviously, he played pretty bad. If we're looking to pick on something else when it comes to quarterback, it is that offensive line. It's terrible. I mean, their offensive line is horrible. Now, I get it. Tennessee has a pretty good defensive line, but still, it wasn't even good against Tulane or Houston. And Houston just got blown out by Cincinnati 34-0. Tulane gave up 30-something points to Louisiana. All right, so let's just be real here. Tulane's not a good defensive team, and Houston's just terrible all the way around. But yeah, Jackson Arnold has not looked good all season long. You made a great point. You throw away a quarterback that has 16,000 yards passing in his career. Oklahoma fans, literally in the last video, you can go down in the comments and look through them, and they're saying, oh, well, he's been in college for 7 years. Well, no, he hasn't actually. He's played 4 full seasons. Mind you, he was the backup to Mackenzie Milton, by the way. And then he had that 1 year in which he got injured. So pretty much 4 full seasons at quarterback. So now at 16,000 yards, you would do anything for him right now. Now with Hawkins, I thought he won the team over. I kind of agree with that towards that end of the game, and in a situation where I guess you weren't really in it, but you kind of were. You're down 16. There's 3 minutes left. and he's doing everything in his power to lead a comeback. And I thought he played a lot better. He led the team in rushing yards too, which is that's a point and laugh at the offensive line. But Oklahoma's offensive line makes it a lot harder, and Jackson Arnold just wasn't making good decisions either. If you put any type of pressure on Jackson Arnold, he folds instantly, quick, fast, and in a hurry. And that's what Tennessee was able to do. And now, guess what? You get to play another top 20 defensive team on the road instead of at home in a situation in which both teams really need it. But Auburn, they're going to do everything in their power to beat you, as well as you're the newcomer. You're the loudmouth, you newcomer too, to be honest. Oklahoma fans kind of took over Twitter, to be honest, for a little bit. Texas, I always give you Texas fans a lot for that because Texas is pretty much the Twitter king. But Oklahoma, they were pretty loud this offseason too, saying they would compete with the upper echelon teams in the SEC. And you didn't really compete with Tennessee, if we're being honest here. So, yeah, you lost by 10, but you got pushed around. I'm worried about this offensive line and then the quarterback decision. In my opinion, I thought they did the right thing to go with Michael Hawkins.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting how it plays out short term and long term. I mean, this is going to be a decision it sets off a lot of things recruiting wise, a lot of things with Jackson Arnold where he could possibly go. Hell, maybe Jackson Arnold transfers to Auburn next year. So that will solve that one.